What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dropping Wisdom with Santos podcast. And today, episode 153, Wages of Wisdom, Week 3. I'm going to give you a quick recap of NFL Week 2, and then we're going to get into Week 3, the money line and the over-under and the spreads. And I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win and my parlay pick as well. And the Thursday Night Football boost on DraftKings of my bet on that one as well, okay? So now, recap of Week 2. Commanders go into the Green Bay Packers, get their asses whooped 27-18. Packers look like one of the best teams in the league right now. And Jaden Daniels, I believe, has a knee injury, which it's just going to be a problem in Week 3. Jaguars go into the Bengals. Bengals won. Burrow's out for the season, basically. And Browning came back, threw 3 interceptions, but came back and won that game. That was a good game. Jaguars should have won that game, but the Bengals pulled that off. Giants went into the Dallas, lost 40-37 in overtime. That game was bananas. The Dallas' defense looked crazy. That not good. Giants, I like their aggressiveness. They played angry and mad, but they should have won that game, but they had 16 penalties. So because of their over-aggressiveness and that hurt them at the end of the game because they just had too many penalties. But I liked how they played. So they're going to be in my Week 3 parlay this week. Okay, then Chicago went into Detroit Lions, lost 52-21. That's just an ass whooping. Jared Goff had 5 touchdowns, 334 yards passing. The Rams went into Tennessee Titans, which was a closer game than it looked. But they won 33-19. Solid performance. Matt Stafford had 2 touchdowns, 298 yards. Titans are better than Titans are good. They're not as good. I mean, they're not they may not be playoff team, but they're a tough team. I like the direction that they're heading to. Patriots into the Dolphins, went into Miami. They won 33-27. Crazy game at the end. Both teams had a kickoff return for a touchdown back to back. But overall, the Patriots won 33-7. The Dolphins just don't look good at all. But Lord have mercy. Let's just go to the next game. 49ers went into New Orleans Saints, won 26-21. Close game. Like I said, I knew that was going to be a close game. Mac Jones, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kamara had 99 yards rushing. So, I mean, the Saints looking solid, but expected to lose. And the 49ers keep pushing on, keep winning with the depleted wide receiver field. And they're looking good. They're getting all their players back, so that's a plus. So, I think Jennings was back, and he had a nice 89 yards for a touchdown. Bills went into the Jets, won 30-10. Fields went out of the game with a concussion, and so that pretty much, set the destiny for that game for the Jets. And Bills, I seen Josh Allen broke his nose. Somebody hit him in the face. Just a play. It wasn't on purpose or anything. Hit him in the face, broke his nose. He missed 2 plays and came back and played the rest of the game. So the Seattle went into the Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers won 31-17. That messed up my parlay. I thought the Steelers were going to win. But basically, Week 1 was like preseason for all the starters from what I'm understanding, from what I'm watching. And Pittsburgh Steelers defense looks like ass. Their defense sucks. Bottom line. And this is my academics over athletics segment of the week. What's his name? That dude, the running back, I want to say is, forget his name. But he at the end of the game, he had a kickoff return. And he didn't even, what was it, Caden Williams? He didn't even touch the ball. He let the ball bounce in the field of play, let it roll into the end zone, didn't attempt to pick it up, just looked at it, and the Seattle's ran into the end zone, picked up, and it was a touchdown. Ruined my parlay right there. What are you doing? And that was just the dumbest play that the guy didn't. You have a player on the field. I don't care if he's a rookie, high draft pick. He did not know the rules. Number 1, that's on him for being dumb. Number 2, that's on the special teams coach. What are you coaching? What's he doing? What's going on out there? You having players on the field that don't know the rules? That's embarrassing. These guys making millions of dollars. It's pathetic. Cleveland went into the Baltimore Ravens and lost 41-17. Lamar Jackson had 4 touchdowns. Denver Broncos went into the Colts and lost. They won. The Colts won 29-28. Danny Dimes threw for 300-plus yards with a touchdown. And Jonathan Taylor had 165 yards rushing, so the Broncos defense isn't as good as people are saying. But let me just tell you guys this. Danny Dimes and the Colts made history 2 straight games without having to punt. They're balling over there. He's making Pro Bowl this year if he keeps it up because the Colts are balling right now. Carolina went into the Cardinals as expected. They lost 22-27. The Cardinals almost gave that game away. They started playing like ass at the end of the fourth quarter. But for the future, just let you know, guys know, Carolina Panthers lost 2 offensive linemen in this game for the season, I believe. So they're not going to be looking good at all for the rest of the season. Philadelphia went into Kansas City Chiefs and won 20-17. Close game. But I don't like how the Eagles are playing because if you look at the quarterback position of Hurts, I don't like how he's not seeing the field or something because he's not throwing to the wide receivers at all. The wide receivers ain't catching nothing. And they're still winning, but I don't like the fact how he's not being able to throw to the wide receivers on a consistent basis. But they're still winning, and there's controversy about the tush push. But if you can't stop, it doesn't mean you gotta ban it. But this particular game, they did it a few times, and when you look at the replay, it seems like they weren't calling false starts because the offensive linemen were going before the snap on the tush push, and it wasn't being called. So if you want to keep making this play legal, at least the referees need to call a penalty if it's a false start. That's the only thing I gotta say about that. Atlanta went into Minnesota, won 22-6. This was an ass whooping, straight up. And the Falcons, they look fast. Their defense looked really fast on that game. They look really fast. And McCarthy's out a few weeks with a sprained ankle. And then you have Tampa Bay went into the Texans, while Houston won 20-19. I just everyone talked about these defenses, and I'm like, Tampa Bay averaged over 5 yards a carry on the Houston Texans defense. They were just running everywhere. And the Chargers went into the Vegas Raiders, won 20-9. I'm telling you right now, I kind of regret picking the Broncos as my division winner because I see the Chargers are the top 5 team in the league right now. The way Harbaugh is coaching Herbert, that dude's balling. And their defense as well, because it looked like Geno Smith with the defense. He looked really confused that they didn't know how to adjust to the defense that the Chargers were playing. So that being said, I looking at week 3, right? Week 3 here. Let me my laptop is freezing here. Week 3, Thursday night football game. Okay, it's going to be the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins into the Buffalo Bills. Okay, now that over under. Let me see here. What's going on? Okay, the over-under is 49.5, and the Bills are favored by 11.5. Okay? And the Green Bay Packers go into the Cleveland Browns. I think the Bills are going to win that game, so that's just a no-brainer in my opinion. Then the Green Bay goes into Cleveland. Green Bay's favored by 7.5, over-under 40.5. So I'm picking the Packers in that game. And you have the Colts going into the Titans. I'm going to pick the Colts. I mean, what's not to say that they shouldn't win this game? And they've been, even though this is going to be their first game away this week, this scheduled season, but I think they have a lot now. The Colts are looking good. They're favored by 3.5, over under 43.5. I like the Colts in this game. Then you have the Bengals and Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by 3.5. And the over-under is 41.5. And you have 2 backup quarterbacks playing in this game. So this is going to be a toss-up. I don't even know. Browning did have 2 touchdowns and played decent, but he had 3 interceptions. So this game's a toss-up because you really don't know what's going to happen in this game because of the backup quarterbacks are a backup quarterback for a reason. So I'm staying away from that game. Pittsburgh goes into Patriots. Pittsburgh's favored by 1.5, over under 44.5. I would have to. I'm leaning towards the Patriots for the simple fact is the Steelers' defense is ass. Their defense is, and you're not used to seeing the Steelers' defense play this bad. I've never seen their defense play this bad before. It's just mind-boggling how they just dropped off like this. And so, with what you've seen in Week 1 and Week 2, I can't pick. I have a hard time picking the Steelers away in New England for this game. I'm not touching it, though, but don't be surprised if the Patriots win because of the Steelers' defense. And then this is going to be, in my opinion, probably the game of the week. The Rams going into Philadelphia. Philadelphia is favored by 3.5, over under 44.5. This game, Hurts is going to have to throw to the wide receivers this game. This is going to be a tough game. Rams and Eagles both have a good defense. So this is going to be a good game. To me, the game of the week. Still a 1 p.m. game, though. But it's the game of the week, in my opinion. Both teams are undefeated. I'm not touching this game. If anything, I would pick the Rams to cover that 3.5 if I was to bet on that game. Then you have the Jets going into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay's favored by 6.5, over under 43.5. I like the Buccaneers because from what I'm saying, I think Tyrod Taylor is the backup quarterback that might be playing in place of Fields because of his concussion. So you got to pick the Buccaneers in this one. Their first home game too, which is good for them. Vegas Raiders go into the Commanders. Washington is favored by 3.5, over under 44.5. But it's just going to be a hard game to pick because Jaden Daniels has a messed up knee and they don't know if he's playing or not. So stay away from this game unless you're going to pick the Raiders to cover the 3.5 because, like I said, without Jaden Daniels in there, I don't know what the result. I don't know about this game. It's going to be questionable because right now that spread is based on Jaden Daniels playing, and if they make it official that he's not playing, this spread is going to change quick. Atlanta goes into Carolina. Atlanta's favored by 5.5, over under 43.5. By what I'm seeing, man, I like the Falcons. Not only do I like the Falcons, you also have to keep in mind that the Panthers just lost 2 of their offensive linemen for the season, and the Falcons' defense looked good. So just by that alone, I'm picking the Falcons to win that game. Houston goes into Jacksonville. Jacksonville favored by 1.5. I like and over under 43.5. I have to be honest with you, man. By watching the Texans play, the Texans have no offensive line, and they only have one wide receiver. You have to pick the Jaguars because they look like they are overall a better team because of they don't have any injuries for the most part, and Texans do. So I like the Jaguars in that game. Even though it's a division game, it should be close, but I like the Jaguars to win that game. And Denver goes into Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers favored by 2.5, over under 45.5. I'm picking the Chargers. Sorry, I don't think the Broncos can go win the Chargers and win it. Plus, I believe Surtain is injured, so that's a really hit to their defense, the Broncos' defense. So I like the Chargers to win that game. New Orleans goes into Seattle. Seattle did a 180 from week 1 to week 2, so that over/under is 41.5, and the spread is 7.5. So you got to lean towards Seattle in that game. Cowboys go into the Bears. Chicago's favored by 1.5, over/under 50.5. That's crazy. But by seeing how the Cowboys didn't play defense, you would have to pick the Bears. But I'm not playing with it. I'm not touching this game. But this play, I would have to just pick the home team in this one. But then you have the Arizona Cardinals going into the 49ers. 49ers favored by 1.5, over/under 44.5. This is going to be a tough game. These teams always play each other really tough. So it's going to be hard to pick this game. So that's why I'm not picking it. But you got to go with the home team on this one. The Kansas City Chiefs go into the New York Giants. Kansas City's favored by 5.5, over/under 45.5. If the Giants play like they played in Dallas, with that intensity, that energy, I'm picking the Giants to cover that 5.5. One, Kansas City, they don't have any weapons. Wide receiver wise, Hollywood Brown. That's all they have with Travis Kelce. He doesn't. As of right now, Kansas City has no wide receiver weapons. The running backs are average at best. So I see the Giants, if not winning this game, covering that 6.5 or 5.5. So if anything, put that in your ghost parlay and pick this one as your. So if this one doesn't win, you still win the parlay. But I'm picking the Giants to cover that spread. Then you have, and I also believe this is the Giants' first home game, so there's going to be extra energy in that stadium too. Monday Night Football, the other game of the week to me as well, is Monday Night Football. Detroit goes into Baltimore. Baltimore's favored by 4.5, over under 52.5. This is going to be a shootout. So only reason why I kind of lean towards the Baltimore Ravens is because of Lamar Jackson's scrambling ability. He's able to push to expand the plays and move the chains for first downs because of his running ability. Okay, now I'm going to the Thursday night boost game on DraftKings. They're giving you a little boost. I want to say 20-30% boost on DraftKings. So this is who I'm picking for the Thursday night football game in my parlay. Okay, I'm picking Josh Allen and Tua to have 200 yards passing or plus. I'm having both teams to score a touchdown and a field goal. I'm having Cook to receive and rush over 50 yards. So receiving and rushing to total 50 yards. So, and A-Chain to have 60 yards total of receiving and rushing yards as well. Waddle and Hill to have 50 yards apiece receiving. And Buffalo to win the game. You wage $5, you win $65 if all this works out. Okay, and then my pick of the week, my parlay is I pick Buffalo to beat Miami. I'm picking Green Bay Packers to beat Cleveland, Atlanta to beat Carolina, Tampa Bay to beat the Jets, Seattle to beat New Orleans, and the Giants to cover that spread at home against Kansas City. You wage $5, that's $35. So if you wage more, put down 10, you win 70. Okay, these are my two parlays for the week. I'll say them again. Thursday night football boost bet for DraftKings. Tua and Josh Allen to have over 200 yards passing. Both teams to score a touchdown and a field goal. A-Chain to have 60 yards total of receiving and rushing yards. Cook to have 50 yards total of receiving and rushing yards. Waddle and Hill to have both 50 yards receiving, and Buffalo to win that game. Now, my Sunday pick, including the Thursday pick, my parlay, my weekly parlay. Buffalo to beat Miami. Green Bay to beat Cleveland. Atlanta to beat Carolina. Tampa Bay to beat the Jets. Seattle to beat New Orleans. And the Giants to cover the 5.5 spread at home against the Chiefs. Hope you guys win. Thank you for listening. Let's keep making money. I won $110 last week. Let's keep it going. Look, pay attention to those last-minute boosts that the DraftKings play that puts out there, and definitely keep playing that ghost parlay pick. You got to keep playing those ghost parlays because that automatic money, baby. Let's go.